Both parties are alleging that the other party caused the crash. And this is, as he said, she said, as a case gets. Gwyneth says he ran into her from behind. He says she ran into him from behind. And the ski instructor who wrote the report said that Gwyneth was the one that was struck from behind and was the downhill skier. So, who is the skier further down the hill is the crux of who is liable for negligence in this case. Much like the rules of the road, Utah has its own rules of the slopes. This is something that is very much ingrained in their state with so many different ski resorts. And there are right of ways and rules that you have to follow, really just like driving, because this is an area where collisions can occur at high speed, causing substantial damage, if not death. And the skier that is most downhill has the right of way, which makes logical sense because they can't see what's happening behind them up the hill. So the people coming down the hill have to be mindful of those in front of them. Those are the rules that the jury is going to have to apply in determining how this happened. And the lawyers are going to have to tell the story through their experts of what the injuries say, because these parties' stories on how this happened are very different. It's always interesting when there's a celebrity at play because you never know what jurors are going to do. It could be that they're looking for these celebrities can't get away with this. It also might be that the jury's had a good experience with this judge. He seemed very even tempered, very kind to this jury. So you never quite know. Also, this court is one of the few I've seen in a civil case that's providing lunch for the jurors. So they might be really thrilled about that. You never know. But seeing a celebrity in person is always an interesting moment. As these lawyers get onto the case, though, and they start talking about brain injuries, it might just be who does this celebrity think they are? So it's really going to depend on how the lawyers argue it. So being a celebrity is really a double edged sword in a case like this. Gwyneth Paltrow absolutely has to be in court. If a jury thinks that she's disinterested in this case, it's going to make it much harder for them to find her side. But we know that her children are going to be testifying and she's countersuing. So she is also a plaintiff. She is going to have to testify. She has to be there every day and not just be there, but look interested and engaged and aggrieved, really, because she's asking them to find that she was not the one at fault for this ski collision. The $1 countersuit is a symbolic amount. We're not in this for money. We're here for justice. And in fact, Gwyneth Paltrow's attorney, in what I thought was an argumentative style, held up a dollar bill during opening and said, "This is all we're asking for," and was snapping the dollar bill back and forth in front of the jury after he made a point of saying that the plaintiff is seeking over $3 million. It's a symbolic gesture. Look, of course, Gwyneth Paltrow is a celebrity. Of course, she doesn't need this money. She's wealthy, and the defense is going to have to combat that as the plaintiffs argue. She had all these private ski instructors with her so they could skip the line. They think they're above you and I, and it gives the plaintiff a chance to try to align themselves with the jury and cast Paltrow as the out of touch wealthy outsider. So the dollar is very symbolic in this case. They're still seeking attorney fees, though. The jury's just not going to know about that. We see that the 3 million number has come back into play with the plaintiff asking not for punitive damages, but for their compensation or compensatory damages for medical bills and all of that. So we heard that number come in at opening statements today, but in summary judgment, a lot of the lawsuit did get cut away by the court. Deer Valley itself had been a party to this suit and others. It is now just Gwyneth Paltrow and Terry Sanderson suing each other to determine who caused this collision. But there are no punitive damages, meaning the punishment damages, where if you think this behavior is unacceptable, the jury can award any amount of money. The damages in this case have to be founded on actual money damages caused, so medical expenses and things like that.